Battle Royale. One of the two main game modes that was introduced inside of Call of Duty Mobile ever since its global release has slowly over time seen its fair share of problems. The problem isn't necessarily the fact that Battle Royale is bad, but rather there's many things keeping it from being great. Many of you might be familiar with the map Isolated, as it has been the main Battle Royale map for Call of Duty Mobile ever since Battle Royale was introduced into the game. What started out as a simple medium-sized map slowly expanded into a large multi-terrain map with plenty of new locations added as more and more seasons went by. At first, this can be seen as a positive change for the Isolated map, as it gave a reason for players to keep coming back to Battle Royale, but in reality, this only made things worse. For a map of this large scale to only fit 100 players is a little underwhelming, especially when most lobbies are filled with bots. That's right, bots make up the majority of the 100 player lobby, meaning you're more likely to stumble upon a bot that just happened to spawn right next to you rather than an actual human being. Because of this, playing on Isolated just feels boring. You end up spending more time looking for enemies rather than fighting them, giving the impression that Battle Royale isn't competitive enough. Of course, some possible solutions would be to reduce the amount of bots in each match to therefore add more real players, which in return would make BR lobbies a lot more competitive. Or what if they added a completely new map, one that is relatively small and close quarters, to keep the action and intensity high, so that players can actually focus on the gameplay and having fun. Oh wait, they already did. Alcatraz. It was the perfect break from the repetitive and boring style of Isolated, as it gave players a much more interactive and fast-paced experience. Gunfights and racking up kills was much more common inside of Alcatraz, as everyone was given up to 5 redeploys, meaning if you died, it wasn't completely over yet. This made gameplay much more exciting as enemies were more easier to find, and the cost of dying wasn't nearly as impactful as what it was in Isolated. However, only after a couple of months after its initial release, Alcatraz was removed. Despite the overall positive response from the community, COD Mobile decided it was best to remove Alcatraz as a permanent mode and only reintroduce it as a limited time mode. This is one area that many people within the community have been asking for the most: better optimization. It's safe to assume that the majority of the mobile community consists of a lot of lower to mid-range devices, rather than high-end flagship phones and tablets, which is why optimization is so crucial. You wouldn't want the majority of your player base having to deal with constant bugs and issues every single time they decide to play a match of Battle Royale. If COD Mobile were to somehow provide more optimization options for lower-end devices, that could improve the gameplay performance and also reduce some of the bugs and issues, not only would this make your player base a lot more satisfied with the game, but also could open up the doors for new players coming from other mobile Battle Royale games to go ahead and try out the Battle Royale in COD Mobile. With a map of this large scale, you tend to run into a lot of long-range battles, so you would assume that the gunfight mechanics in VR would be optimized in a way that would make gunfights at longer ranges reasonable and keeping it relatively skill-based, right? Well, you would be wrong. Taking gunfights at long range in BR is terrible. You could be the most skilled player in the game and you would still miss shots just because the game decided to. Specifically, I'm talking about bullet spread accuracy and bullet velocity. Bullet spread accuracy affects where your bullets end up going while you are aiming down sight, while bullet velocity affects the speed at which your bullets travel. Both of these mechanics combined make any gunfights more than 100 meters out almost impossible to land shots. An easy solution to this would be to reduce the effects of bullet spread accuracy so that bullets can actually shoot more in a straight line, and also increasing the bullet velocity so that it doesn't take forever for our bullets to reach the target. However, my concern isn't only directed towards the gunfight mechanics, but also the Battle Royale health system. As you might already know, everybody inside of a BR match automatically spawns in with 100 HP, which could be raised up to 150 150 HP with the help of adrenaline shots. Additionally, we do also have 3 different levels of armor vests, which can reduce the amount of damage taken from enemy fire. While this might not sound like a terrible system, the main cause for concern would be the RNG elements that brings along with it. Let's just say you were to hot drop onto the first location on the map. You land next to a building, you go inside, you start looting up. And while you're looting, you may have perhaps found some bandages or maybe some med kits, but no adrenaline shots, while an enemy next door did. So now you're put at a disadvantage. Instead of having an equal amount of HP, your enemy essentially has 50% more health than you, meaning you're more likely to lose in this gunfight simply because they got lucky and found an adrenaline shot before you did. Because of this, many people have suggested to change this current health system in COD Mobile into a more Warzone-like health system. This would essentially remove any sort of RNG elements in BR, such as removing adrenaline shots and armor vests, so that gunfights can be more balanced and fair. It feels like forever since the last time Battle Royale had a meaningful update, one that further enhanced the BR experience, rather than continuing to release the same content that no one really cares for. It's a shame when other versions of the game, such as the Chinese version of COD Mobile, have taken more thought and care towards Battle Royale, introducing new features that we've never seen before, such as adding a Warzone-like health system, a BR training mode, first-person driving, updated BR graphics, and not to mention all of the additional content that were found inside of the Chinese beta game files, such as buy stations, in-game BR currency, self-revive kits, teammate redeployments, loadout drops, score streaks, bounty contracts, and the gulag. The potential is there. We know that COD Mobile can add some amazing features to further improve the BR experience. And while they have started to implement some of these features into the global version of the game, it's just not enough. However, it's not just in-game features that can improve the state of BR, but rather adding more creative and unique content. They've been able to do this in the past with the various different in-game events that were implemented, such as fighting off multiple zombies dressed as reindeers with a huge Santa boss zombie in the middle, or infiltrating the campground surrounded with multiple hostile guards in search for any trace of Makarov. This, along with the various different Easter eggs that COD Mobile has added over the seasons inside of BR, are all things that I would like to see more of, and certainly others would appreciate as well. Regardless of what you may think about the Battle Royale in COD Mobile, I think we can all agree that there is room for improvement, which is why I really hope COD Mobile can start taking steps into the right direction and give the improvements that everybody wants. However, will COD Mobile actually make these changes in Battle Royale? Well, I guess time will tell.